Hey everybody, so today we're just going to have a little bit of a chill out together. I've got my Elgato camera stand, so this is where my camera is going to be placed from now on, and this is going to be the backdrop. So as the setup sort of changes, I'll keep that in mind and try and get this to look pretty cool. But as you can see some of my photography work and stuff there already, so it's kind of a little bit of personality there already. And I've got the boom arm, so I don't think it protrudes in shot that much, and it's definitely a much better sound. But today we're just chilling. Today I'm just going to have a little look on Steam. I think we'll have a look through what games are on Steam, because apparently there's a sale coming on the 19th. Oh, it is so hot. Let me just turn the aircon on a minute. So in terms of what I've been doing lately and today, I'm still working on my Resident Evil 9 capture. Really I want to be spending the majority of the day right now getting this footage, benchmarking these games, sort of using what's left of this month to sort of benchmark where I believe are my competitive titles. So Resident Evil 9, Resident Evil 4, Silent Hill F, Silent Hill 2, Fatal Frame 2, the remake, that looks really interesting, stuff like that. That's where I'll be benchmarking, creative benchmarking, not, running FPS stuff. So let me just see if I can get my window up, capture window, properties, and then it should be in here, Steam. Okay, cool. So you can see Steam with me now. And then these are my games that I have at the moment. So 2023 releases. Since I came to Thailand, this is what I purchased. Back in the UK, I was a console peasant. But now not so much. And then 2024 releases. So I played Alone in the Dark, and it's interesting in certain ways, but then also not. I think that it could have been better. The acting was good, but I don't know. Maybe I'll replay it again, and maybe the thoughts will be more coherent in the second go, and I'll play as the lady rather than playing as Hopper from Stranger Things. I forget the actor's name. Oh, brain fart today. But yeah. Black Myth Wukong, I'm still struggling with. Grand Blue, I really wanted to try it out. Apparently it's got quite some credentials to the people who've worked on it in terms of JRPGs. And I play it every now and again, but I haven't really touched it. Indica, definitely want to play more of Indica, but I spoke about that on a different video. Same with Soul Reaver. Like I have fond memories of Soul Reaver. And yeah, Defiance is also out now, so I could complete the set. Hopefully, even if it's just a little bit of a sale, then this will go down in price, so that, even if it's just 10%, if I'm buying 10 games, that's a lot of money, for these benchmarks. And I might actually buy another hard drive as well, because I've got them on a 1TB SN850X, and I'm thinking about getting another 2TB SN850X for my other computer, where I'll be playing most of my games, and that will be very, very shortly coming, but I'm still figuring out what to do there, in terms of what monitor I want, and then I have to order the desk on IKEA, which I've been putting off. It's not much, IKEA is not expensive, it's just a pain having to go through the delivery process. I'm going to put this on, and we'll react a little bit to the trailer, because it's been a very long time since I've played Defiance. Since it released, really, I think. I might have replayed it a little bit when I started recollecting the PS2 games, but not like all the way through.
Better to face one's destiny than cower from it.
You have played your part flawlessly.
PlayStation 2 games clean up nice, don't they? Art direction is 9/10 of a game. I will still stay. And this completes the trilogy, right? Not including the Blood Omen games.
As your souls have created you, as this function, you will return.
Remember very little about it. Very, very little, other than there's some sort of like what felt like open world parts. But I might be misremembering, but there was parts that were like outside and they felt refreshingly open. But again, I might be wrong. I might be misremembering there. Nobody Wants to Die. I'm about 70% of the way through that, and then I stopped playing it for some reason. But this is a pretty decent game. I quite like that as well. Hellblade 2 is fantastic. I've wrote about that on my. This is how much I love Hellblade 2. I wrote about it on my photography Substack. Silent Hill 2. Still haven't played the remake. It's one of those, like Silent Hill 2, the remake, and Resident Evil 4, the remake, are two games that I really avoided playing again. And I just played Resident Evil 4, the remake, and I don't understand why I avoided it so much. So maybe it's the same case with Resident Evil 2 here. Silent Hill 2 here, should I say. And then 2025 releases. Most of 2025 I played on the PlayStation 5. I don't own a PS5 anymore. But most of the gaming I did was on PS5 last year. And I didn't enjoy it, hence why I don't own one anymore. I feel like the Sony magic has gone, die, mid. The last thing I really enjoyed that was sort of Sony platform only for a while was Stellar Blade. And I can get that on PC now, so that's not a problem. And then 2026 releases, all I've bought is Resident Evil Requiem. It seems like I'm quite picky with games. I don't buy a lot, do I? But I have played, like when I was younger, I've played so much. Like I feel like I can be picky now. I kind of know where I like. And then these small games I bought. So the Vermintide games, this came in a bundle. But I didn't realize Dark Tide you had to play online all the time. I thought that there would be some sort of like offline mode or whatever. Because I love 40k and I loved how this looks. So maybe I'll download it and do a few levels and do a little bit of a talk through. Titanfall 2, I think at the time I was just itching for a first person shooter. Same with Shadow Warrior, I haven't replayed that, and Half-Life, they were giving that away free, but I could do with replaying it. I haven't played that since, I think I played it on the PlayStation 2 last, when they re-released that for PS2. And then I do actually have some other games, which are the Xbox Studio games, and I know you can get these on Game Pass, but I don't really like, and I know that even these, it's a digital license to use, but I still feel like they're mine when they're in my library, whereas when you pay for Game Pass, if you want to play it again, you have to repurchase Game Pass. I don't know, it doesn't add up in my mind. I'd rather just buy it and it's mine, especially because they go down in price so often. Played Rise, again, not too long ago. I haven't played Quantum Break, which as a Remedy fan is probably sacrilege, right? I should play that. And Hellblade, I never finished Hellblade, the first game. I had it on Xbox, and I got to the part where she was on the beach, and I never got past that for whatever reason. And Halo, which is you know, when you're talking about the first sort of 4 games plus ODST, they're some of the best games, regardless of genre. But again, well worth their own video. And then I've just got a couple of demos. So I've just downloaded the demo for Slitterhead. I don't know if that'll be any good. And I just downloaded the demo for Octopath Traveler, which I think is a gorgeous game. I'm really hoping this goes down in the sale, because I'll probably end up getting that. But some of the things that I'm looking at in the sale are Mortal Kombat 1. because I want to test out these controllers. So I've got the 8-bit DO controller here. Let me just bring up OBS a minute so I can show you properly. So yeah, so there you go. You can see that quite clearly. So this is the 8-bit DO Ultimate 2 wireless. The wireless designation is the important part. The wireless designation means that these joysticks are TMR, which stands for tunnel magnetoresistance, which are basically a magnetic switch technology like Hall Effect, but far superior in theory. And that's what I'm testing. Does the theory coincide with reality, or is it just snake oil? And so far, I've noticed a difference on games like Armored Core Fires of Rubicon. I noticed a difference on that game, but then in other games, like I really don't notice a difference on Resident Evil. But I think it's a lot to do with the animations as well. Like if it's not instantaneous, sometimes the animations take up animation frames, and then which is why I'm looking at games like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, which I used to actually really be into the 1v1 fighters. Street Fighter 2 Turbo was like my jam on the Super Nintendo. Absolutely loved that. I love playing Sagat as someone who's Thai, like seeing a Thai character. Like people talk about DEI and inclusion. Seeing a Thai character was something else. That was great. And I don't think I've seen one since. I think Sagat is it. But yeah, I would look forward to, it's Mortal Kombat, isn't it? It's going to be the same sort of Mortal Kombat as it always is, just a little bit fancier with a slightly different story, which is not a problem. But I might actually pick up, I think Mortal Kombat 11 is really cheap at the moment, but we'll see. Maybe they'll do like a bundle deal. But I don't need all of them. I'm not collecting right now. I'm not sort of like filling out my Steam library and benchmarking. And then Street Fighter. So Street Fighter 6, that's gone down in price a lot. So everything's in baht. 1,100 baht's about $35-ish. I don't know if that's the same sort of price as the US. And then, as someone who grew up with Street Fighter, it's strange seeing it like this. But I think it would be a good benchmark for the controllers. And then obviously Tekken. Oh, can't even type. Let's just see. So Tekken 8's the newest one, right? So hopefully this goes down a little bit as well. And then I can pick, and then that's 3 fighters. I don't think there's been a Soul Calibur for a while, has there? And then, you've got sort of BlazBlue. BlazBlue is fantastic. I turned off the backlight on my keyboard because I was sick of the RGB. And Razer Chrome is terrible, and now I can't see what the hell I'm typing because I'm an old man. So what have we got? What's BlazBlue entropy effect? I don't know that. What's continuum shift extended? Why is this so cheap? Okay, so this is an older one, but it's literally a buck and a half. That guitar. I think my music taste comes from video games. Wicked. Style over substance, but sometimes you just don't have to dig that deep into it. Just appreciate it. Okay, let's get out of this. BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. Like a buck, less than a buck. BlazBlue collection. So what's in the BlazBlue collection? don't know. We got Guilty Gear as well. Strive. That's an old game now. That's been out a long time. Yeah, 2021. Fantastic looking again though. I want to type it in case it's here. There's this one game on PS1 that I absolutely loved called Gekido. And it was like a side-scrolling. So they've made a new Gekido game? Or is this a different one? Because it was a side-scrolling game. And it was... let me see if I can get... Gekido PS1. Just wait for me a moment. Okay, here it is. So if I switch this out... This is where I need a Steam Deck where I can just like... tap it in, right, so that I can just switch over. But this is Gekido PS1, and it's a game I never hear anyone talking about. Gekido Urban Fighters, but for whatever reason I have very, very fond memories of this, and that's it. That's the cover art there. Zoo Classics takes me back, but yeah, Gekido, that was it on PS1, and I love that game. So maybe I have to put my eye patch on and see if we can get a hold of a version of that to play through. And then this is Gekido. Oh, okay, so this must be the first one then. So that must be the second one. Okay, understandable. Let's get back into Steam. So this would be the first one by the looks of it. But as you can see, it looks very different to me. Guilty Gear, a bit expensive for what it is, but it is a good game. One with the guitar, I used to have a Pelham Blue SG, which was very similar. I think this is like like a semi-hollow. It's gone now, not to be found again. But here, Blast Blue. Grand Blue as well. I've never played the Grand Blue fighting games. And what's that under? I don't know. There's just so much that I'm just unaware of. And this is another Arc System Works title. Okay, so it's got Pedigree. It's quite expensive. Let's have a quick look. Is it 2 years old now? So it's not new. Okay, looks like doesn't want to play for some reason. Let's carry on. So what do they recommend here? Just the ones we've been looking at, really. Older versions. And then yeah, they've got the older Soul Calibur. That's a very old game now though. Not what I'm looking for. I'm not saying all games bad. I'm not saying that, they're lesser in any way. They are immense value, especially if you've never played them. But these are games that I've played like on PS4 and stuff in the past. And I'm specifically, like I said, looking for something to push the TMR controllers, because I'm testing the 8-bit dough, but I'll probably put an order in for the Wolverine in the next week or two. So there'll be at least 2 TMR controllers in the R&D docket. So I want to have a look in here. Let's go into the store and first of all, let's have a little look at featured. Let's see what Steam features. So Dying Light Essentials Edition, which is full price. I don't know why they're featuring that, but okay. Then this is the new Monster Hunter Stories game, right? I've never gone into Monster Hunter Stories. I don't think that's going to start today. Poppy played it, I think. Okay. Counter-Strike 2, Death Stranding, Director's Cut, Toxic Commando. As much as I love John Carpenter, I'm not really looking for a Left 4 Dead kind of game, unless who's playing it. Okay, let's open up let's not be so close-minded. Who's playing it? If I can get a bunch of people who's willing to play at my time zone, maybe we'll do it. Let's do it, a live stream, right? 100%. If I can find enough people, I'll buy it, and we'll play together. World War Z, again, another old game. Once Human, another indie push. Not for me, I don't think. Kind of going for that. What's it called? I forget the name now. That Korean drama, right? Sweet Home. That Sweet Home kind of look. What else are they pushing? Lots of indie stuff they're pushing. And again, nothing horrendously wrong with indie, just not what I'm looking for. Look at this dog hair everywhere. I got a woolly Siberian, by the way, and the woolly part is not to be underestimated. And I love him. I do, but my God, the hair is everywhere. I played this on the PS5, and I think I would probably play it again on the PC. This is a brilliant version of a brilliant game. It looks great, especially with the right filter. I forget what the filter's called, but there's one filter that you can play it with, and it looks really nice. And then to go with that as well, I think that it's great that Metal Gear Solid 4 is coming out on the PC, but where is it? Is it here? Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain. I think the Phantom Pain, and this is probably going to be very... Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain to me are the same game. They're both Metal Gear Solid 5. They're both two halves of the same coin. And that coin is the best coin in the world. It is the best game I have ever played in my life. And it's stuck with me to this day. I mean, I've played Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 1 over and over and over and over. And I've played the Phantom Pain once, and I still feel like the Phantom Pain stuck with me. And there's just something wrong with that game, which is exactly what it's supposed to be, right? The Phantom Pain. It leaves you feeling like it's incomplete. And then there's obviously the whole debacle with Kojima and Konami. And there definitely was something going on there. Like, I can't say that was like a ruse. But I don't think this game is incomplete in the sense of thematically. I don't think it needed polish or extra content. I think even if there was extra content in another chapter, it wouldn't have changed what Kojima showed us here. And like they say on Metal Gear Solid 3, when he's talking to Eva, where's the truth? The truth is hidden within the lies. And I think that once you understand that Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain is one big lie, things start coming together very quickly. But I think it's tragic, absolutely tragic. And not just me, but a lot of people seem to think that the clone of Big Boss, Venom Snake, is actually Frank Yeager, and there's a lot that points into that direction. But I'll let you look that up. There's people who have done better videos than I could on that, but it makes sense. Especially when you start looking at how they act, right? So when you start looking at how Big Boss and Naomi, that's quite a parallel to sort of Paz, I think. I think that that's something that, to be honest, these are thoughts that have been dormant for a long while, so I really have to think on them before I speak them. But like, there's just so much pointing towards the fact that Venom Snake is such a different character, different characteristics, different personalities, and there's almost like a personality switch between the person that adopts, Naomi and takes her to the US to Venom Snake. And also there's, you know, how the events of Metal Gear and how things are different in Metal Gear to how they are in Metal Gear 2. And I feel that like Metal Gear 2, you really see a different side of Boss, in terms of, especially if you start looking at new stuff that has come out and parallels between Zanzibar Land and Selino Yask with Metal Gear Solid 3. And you have to remember Kojima loves cycles. He loves Snake and then Raiden. And Raiden is also a mirror of Frank Yeager. You know, even though he's designated codename Snake, he's far more like Fox. He's far more like Grey Fox, Child Soldier. You know, just how he is. Very interior, cares for one person, Rose. And even though Yeager was his sister, Naomi, even to the point where I forget the gentleman's name, but the same doctor is the same person who turned Raiden into what we see him as in Metal Gear Solid 4. So perhaps a deep dive into Metal Gear is where it's at. Perhaps I spend 6 months on Metal Gear. Perhaps I spend 6 months benchmarking and then 6 months just going into Metal Gear because, God, I love Metal Gear. Where was I? I'm totally lost now. Don't even know what I was on about. Oh yeah, I was having a look to see what they're suggesting. Marathon. Onimusha 2. Hell of a price though. I think they could have cooled down on the price, but it looks good though. Like I said, these PS2 games, they brush up well, especially with these I don't think they're pre-render is not the right word, but you know, they're tailored backgrounds, aren't they? Yeah, Onimusha, fantastic set of games. Onimusha 1. So there we are. That's more realistic. You know, 1 and 2, 1,100 baht. So if that drops down a little bit, maybe Onimusha 1 and 2 are on the cards as well. And Dino Crisis. I know Dino Crisis is on here. Dino Crisis. So yeah, 1 and 2 Dino Crisis are on here. And Dino Crisis is the first Resident Evil. Pardon me. Is the first Resident Evil like with 3D backgrounds. And Fear Effect is on here as well, if I remember right. Yep. Fear Effect 1 and 2. Wow. Literally just come out 27th of Feb. A couple of weeks ago. Meant to be. You know what? Let's start adding some stuff to the cart and seeing what we end up with. But this was such a cool game. Look at this. That's just damn cool. And this is what I was playing when other people were playing Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and whatever else people are fond of in the PS1 era. This is how I remember PS1. Fear Effect, Dino Crisis, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Parasite Eve, Syndicate Wars, tons of weird games. Like there was one with Bruce Willis in it. And there's another one which was like some sort of Haitian kind of voodoo. There was some really cool sort of occult leaning. Loved it. And that's one hell of a vibe I want to try and harness. for my game. And then they tried bringing this back by the looks of it, which I haven't seen anything about. So they've tried bringing it back by the looks of it, isometric. Yeah, no thanks. And then let's go back to Dino Crisis. Okay. And Dino Crisis 1 and 2. So yeah, Fear Effect 1 and 2. What's unavailable in my country? That's Fatal Frame 2. Fatal Frame 2. No, it's here. So let's have a look to see. So it's coming up now. So there we are, like Fear Effect 1, 2, Dino Crisis 1, 2, Fatal Flame Remake, Onimusha. Onimusha 1 and 2. Like, that's a good start. I think that's a good start for benchmarking sort of the feel of games of days gone by. Let's just see what happens on the 19th, and then we'll go from there. Just trying to think if there's anything else. It's so difficult to think off the top of your head. If I think PS1, will anything be tagged PS1? Nah, look, it's all just indie stuff. Okay, well, I think that'll do us for today. I think we'll leave it there. I think I will sign off. And as we always say here, this is Banshee Interactive. I'm David Roberts. And remember, this is not a simulation. Tell you what, for the guys who stay right till the end, I'll give you a sneak peek at some of our concept art. I met with my concept artist today, and hopefully we've got something worked out for sort of the next 3 months, and we'll see what happens. But this is the first piece that he sketched up just quick after a conversation together. So let me know, everyone. I'm thinking about trying to do some content with him as well. If he wants to get involved in the channel, I would really like that. So let me know. Let me know what you think about everything. And I will see you tomorrow.